Hi, Rory Z here with a video all about hypnosis myths. I've got a fair few hypnosis videos out there and frequently get comments about various different things that people believe will happen when they go into hypnosis, or if they can't get out of hypnosis, and various other things that are commonly held beliefs that are portrayed by various different media, so films and books and just people commenting and talking about hypnosis. They are, in a lot of cases, myths about hypnosis. They've been around for so long that they're kind of in popular culture and in people's minds that they think, well, this is something that I've been told through my whole life about hypnosis, so surely it must be true. So just wanted to do this quick video, because I haven't got a video about myths, just to clear up some of the myths about hypnosis that you may have heard, whether you're looking to be a hypnotist yourself, or if you already are a hypnotist or a hypnotherapist, or if you're a hypnotherapy client or someone looking to do a hypnosis show and volunteer and have some fun. And if you have questions about these myths, feel free after the video to comment below, and I'm always around replying to comments and that kind of thing. One of the main hypnosis myths that's out there is about hypnosis and sleep. And a lot of people think that just because hypnotists use the term sleep when they're doing hypnosis, that hypnosis is sleep. However, hypnosis is actually very far away from sleep in terms of the subjective experience of someone who's being hypnotized. So when you're asleep, obviously you're not aware of anything that's going on around you. There could be somebody in the room walking around, talking, doing something. You wouldn't necessarily be aware of that. Whereas in hypnosis, you're actually in a more conscious, focused state rather than an unconscious sleep state. So if I was here in hypnosis and someone walked into the room and started talking to me, I'd be 100% aware that person is there and is talking to me. And I could, if I wanted to, open my eyes and bring myself out of hypnosis, or open my eyes and remain in hypnosis, which is always nice, so that's always good fun. And then interact with that person, close my eyes, go back into hypnosis. You can go into hypnosis with your eyes open. That's another myth. People think that you have to be completely relaxed and eyes closed and sitting perfectly still to be in hypnosis. But again, that's just not true. If you've ever seen a stage hypnosis show, you'll see people dancing around doing all this really crazy fun stuff with their eyes open, still in hypnosis. So that's something that's entirely possible. However, if you're going to see a hypnotherapist, it's more likely that you'll be sat. You won't really be moving around very much, and you will have your eyes closed. There are some therapists who do more dynamic, movement-based hypnotherapy techniques as well, but more commonly it is more relaxation-based and more suggestion-based. So it's not sleep. Hypnosis isn't sleep. We use the word sleep because it's a really easy way to get people into hypnosis. And the guy who kind of coined the term hypnosis, James Braid, part of his definition was that it's a nervous sleep. So we've kind of ditched the nervous part, and we just use that sleep as a kind of easy introduction to getting somebody into hypnosis, rather than having to say every single time, close your eyes now and relax into that wonderful deep state of hypnosis. Instead, we just say sleep. It's a lot quicker and it's a lot easier. I think my camera's just tilted a bit. I'm just gonna move that a fraction. There we go. So the next one, kind of relating to sleep, is about blacking out and going unconscious. So some people think that in hypnosis you go unconscious, you don't necessarily realize what's going on as you're being hypnotized, and the hypnotist will wake them up at the end and they'll go, oh my god, what happened, and have no recollection. That kind of ties in with the kind of amnesia myth as well, that people will forget everything that happens when they're in hypnosis. And there is more of a grey area in terms of the amnesia side of things. However, with blacking out, going unconscious, that doesn't happen. So people can get really engrossed in the hypnosis process, and they can feel like everything else kind of isn't there and kind of goes away because they're so engrossed in what the hypnotist is telling them. However, they will never black out. They will always be able to respond to things that are going on outside of their imagination in the real world, if they need to. In terms of amnesia and forgetting things whilst in hypnosis, that can be more likely to happen for some people, but not for everyone. If you go into hypnosis with the belief, the mindset that you're going to remember pretty much everything from that hypnosis session, it's a lot more likely to happen. Whereas if you go in thinking, ooh, I'm probably going to forget most of this, just like if you're reading a book and you go, yeah, whilst I'm reading, I'm probably going to forget most of this, and like an hour later, you don't remember what the book was about. Same thing can happen. some people are naturally better at remembering stuff than other people. The example that I like to use with people that I hypnotize is that it's kind of like you're watching a film. If you had 10 people all sat down watching the same film, and you asked them an hour later after they finished what the film was about, and for specific details about what happened in that film, some would be able to recount a lot of information in great vivid detail. Others, a little bit of information. Others have no... Did I watch a film? I don't even remember watching a film, you know? So we all have our own different levels of memory and being able to recall information. And in hypnosis, it's exactly the same thing. But if you want to remember something in hypnosis, actively make a point of, thinking it, remembering it, and it's likely that you will be able to remember a lot more if you do go into hypnosis thinking those things. Can you get stuck in hypnosis? That's another myth. Short answer, no, you can't get stuck in hypnosis, because all hypnosis fundamentally is self-hypnosis. So you're pretty much, the hypnotist is guiding you into a state of hypnosis, but you're pretty much doing the heavy lifting. As a client, as a volunteer on stage, whoever's being hypnotized, they're the one putting themselves into hypnosis. It's not the superpowers of the hypnotist that's doing it. It does help, obviously, if the hypnotist knows what they're doing, but all hypnosis fundamentally is self-hypnosis. So if someone doesn't want to go into hypnosis, then they won't go into hypnosis. No matter how skilled or experienced that hypnotist is, you can't make someone go into hypnosis against their will if they don't want to. And similarly, people just can't get stuck in hypnosis. The only time that someone's going to remain in hypnosis is if they want to remain in hypnosis. If they're at the end of a stage hypnosis show and they're all sat there and they've just had a really great time and dancing around doing all sorts of stuff, hypnotist says, okay, now it's time to open your eyes. 1, 2, 3, eyes open, wide awake. Oh, but I'm enjoying this feeling of being in hypnosis. I think I'm just going to stay here, actually. And that can sometimes happen. It's happened to me. It's happened to most stage hypnotists out there. Hypnotherapists as well. Sometimes people just really like staying in hypnosis. But again, it's a choice. It's all self-hypnosis. So they are choosing to remain in their own state of self-hypnosis, and they just cannot get stuck. It'd be the same as, can you get stuck in meditation? And I'm not a meditation expert, but as it's a self-generated state, I would assume that no, you can't. Something that I sometimes hear, and the one time it kind of stands out, is when my mum came to a hypnosis show. One of the myths that came up was that only weak-minded people can be hypnotized, and I'm too strong-minded to be a hypnotic subject or to come up on stage and do stage hypnosis. However, anyone can be hypnotized, whether you're an absolute super genius or you're normal intelligence or you have low intelligence. It doesn't necessarily matter. So long as you're of enough intelligence that you can understand suggestions and follow suggestions that somebody's saying to you, it doesn't matter how high your IQ is. If you have a 6-figure IQ, you can still be hypnotized, and I'd be happy to prove that. Feel free, come along, I'll hypnotize you. And regardless, so it doesn't matter. Another one is that hypnosis is not as common these days, but if you're in a more religious area, or if you have someone who you're working with who is particularly religious, it tends to come up that hypnosis is magical, or hypnosis is mystical, or the work of the devil, or it's anti-religious, and various different kind of myths like that. However, again, kind of going back to the all hypnosis is self-hypnosis thing, just putting yourself into a particular state of mind, there's nothing particularly magical about it. There's nothing anti-religion or anything like that. Hypnosis is just a normal, natural state. So depending on what you're doing with the hypnosis, there could be connotations there. If you're getting someone to drop their inhibitions and do something that their religion might kind of morally be opposed to, there could be a grey area there, I'm sure. But again, whether that person would accept such suggestions, that's all down to them, because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. So they always have the option to accept or reject suggestions in hypnosis if they want to. So do be aware of that. And that hypnosis isn't magical, it's not mystical, it's something that pretty much anybody can learn to do. I've taught hypnosis to people from all across the world, all ages, all genders, all jobs, all, whatever person, that you can think of, there's probably someone out there like that who is a hypnotist. So it's definitely something that pretty much anybody can learn if you'd like to learn it. I can teach you. And there are loads of books and DVDs, and not DVDs, no one watches DVDs anymore, online courses and things like that that can teach you how to do hypnosis. One of the key things about learning to do hypnosis, going on a tangent, I'm always doing that, is practice. And if you're ever looking to learn to do hypnosis, the key thing that's going to be helpful to make you a successful and effective hypnotist is getting as much practice as you physically can. And that's rather than it being a magical, mystical thing, a skill that's passed down from heavens or from generation to generation or anything like that. No, it's something that you can learn, like any skill. Practice, practice, practice. That is what is entirely important. Two more myths that I've got that just spring to mind. One of them is that hypnosis doesn't exist, and it's a really interesting one. Again, the people commenting on YouTube videos, yeah, no, this is rubbish. It's all set up. It's stooges and all that kind of stuff. Hypnosis is fake. No, because I completely get how hypnosis can look sensational, 100%. It can seem like, wow, how is that person getting this other person to respond in this way? How are they, believing that they're, on a desert island and there are hula people dancing around and, there's all kinds of stuff. Or how does a person go for like one session and someone talks to them and then they're immediately free of anxiety and stress and like, well, I can't, comprehend that. But people can do miraculous things with their mind, even out of hypnosis, just using your imagination, using positive affirmations, believing stuff. People who have active, really visual imaginations, I personally can't visualize for toffee. But there are people out there who can close their eyes and be in this magical, visualization world where anything is possible. They can see and interact with stuff just using their mind's eye. So, for me, that's a step like, wow, I don't know how they can do that. And the same thing applies for hypnosis. Some people are more adept at being hypnotized. Some people are more suggestible. Some people react to suggestions a lot easier. Some people react a lot more outrageously to like entertainment suggestions in hypnosis. So it's basically, rather than the fact of like hypnosis is fake, it's more the fact of people respond differently to hypnosis. And if someone, has tried to be hypnotized and it didn't work for them, or they got dismissed from a stage hypnosis show because they weren't a particularly responsive subject, or they went to see a hypnotherapist and maybe the hypnotherapist, wasn't as well trained as they could have been, so they went away and not having had success in the hypnotherapy session, that can taint people's beliefs about what hypnosis is. So that's something to bear in mind. But no, hypnosis is 100% real. I wouldn't many thousands of hypnotherapists and stage hypnotists, we wouldn't have careers if we had to like go out and get people to pretend to be hypnotized. And someone comes along for a hypnotherapy session, say, yeah, it's not really real, but if you can just pretend to make this change, then just give me your money anyway. That would be great, right? So hypnosis is 100% real. Whether you achieved what you wanted to from hypnosis, if you experienced it yourself, can depend on many different factors. But a lot of the time it can be people who've never experienced hypnosis, and that can go back to the whole you have to be weak-minded to be a hypnotic subject, and people just believe that they need to be strong-minded and that hypnosis wouldn't work on them because they wouldn't let it happen because they're too in control of their mind. So those two myths can kind of tie in together. The final myth, I've been talking for like 13 minutes, Jesus Christ. The final myth that I'm going to cover, and it's going to be a really quick one, is the chicken. I'm not going to get hypnotized. I'm not going to go and see a hypnotherapist because they'll turn me into a chicken. The old chicken routine, it's not used as frequently as it used to be with stage and street hypnosis because there are much more fun things you can do to, with your hypnotized participants, that are beyond just, that's not particularly entertaining. Get them to imagine they're a washing machine. That would be fantastic. It's a lot more visual. And the thing is as well that people will go to hypnotherapy sessions, so for the hypnotherapist to help them, not entertainment purposes at all, and still be worried about the whole chicken bit. And I like to say, it's not my preferred approach to help you stop smoking or lose weight or whatever it is. However, if you want to be turned into a chicken, it's something we can incorporate into the session because, you know, you don't tend to see chickens smoking, or you don't tend to see chickens with weight problems so much, you know. So we can certainly build that into the hypnotherapy session if you really want to be a chicken, but otherwise we'll just kind of go the normal route of using hypnotherapy as we would. So those are some of the main hypnosis myths. If you'd like to learn more about hypnosis myths or hypnosis in general, how to hypnotize, all that stuff, feel free to check out my website, rory-z.com. There are a whole bunch of books and videos and free information on there that will help you to become a confident hypnotist. Until next time, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you soon.